Hey guys, first of all, wish you all a very happy new year. I'm excited about today's video as I'm going to talk about one of my favorite books in the finance space. And this personally taught me a lot, and I'm excited to share all my learnings in this video because personally, I always thought I understood money well. But this book, The Psychology of Money, made me realize how wrong I was about money. It completely changed how I look at earning, saving, and spending. These are simple but powerful ideas that can truly transform your life. And if you want to have a better relationship with money, do watch till the end and start practicing the things that I mentioned in this video. Now let's get right into it. Lesson 1. Being lucky versus being smart. Success is not always about being smart. Sometimes it's about being at the right place at the right time. I used to think I was an expert in the market at one point, and I tell myself I picked the right stocks because I'm smart. But the fact is, luck played a big role. I could have easily been on the losing side if things were different on that day. So the Psychology of Money book taught me to stay humble, and success isn't 100% due to my actions. It depends on a lot of things that are out of my control. And when I realized this, I stopped comparing myself to others. If you remember this, you'll approach success and failure with more balance. And here's what you can do right now. Start keeping a decision journal. Write down what information you had when making important choices in your life, why you made them, and what actually happened. This simple practice will help you see patterns in your decision making process and understand when you were truly smart versus when you got lucky. And trust me, it's eye-opening, guys. Now moving on to lesson 2, money is about behavior and not just math. We often think money decisions are all about numbers, but here's the fact. Emotions drive most of our money decisions. I'll share a very personal story. A few years ago, I bought a BMW and it felt amazing at the time. Owning a luxury car was such a big dream for me. But looking back, I realized it was a huge financial mistake. If I had invested that money instead, given the kind of returns I'm able to generate now, which is around 30 to 40% annually, that money could have grown significantly by today. It wasn't a logical decision, it was purely emotional, driven by the excitement of owning something luxurious. And this book taught me that our money decisions are rarely about math. They're all about behavior, is what I feel. Now, whether it's impulse buying, lifestyle upgrades, or spending to impress others, mindset does play a bigger role than we realize. And honestly, in India, where social pressures often influence our choices, this lesson is so true. And here's a practical tip you can use today. Before making any major purchase, write down how you feel about it right now, then wait for 72 hours. During this time, calculate what else you could do with that money over 5 years if you have invested it instead. And this isn't about always saying no, it's about making sure your emotions and logic are both on board with the decision. I wish I had done this before buying my luxurious car. Now moving on to lesson 3, know what enough means. And this particular lesson significantly changed the way I see money. You must define what's enough for you. So before, I'd constantly compare myself with someone who has a better car, a better phone, and a better house. It was exhausting, to be honest, but the Psychology of Money taught me that if you don't define enough, you'll never feel satisfied, no matter how much money you make. But once I've defined what enough looks like for me, I feel much better and don't feel rushed running after money constantly. And trust me, if you stop running behind endless goals and focus on what you define as enough for you, you'll feel much happier and more content. Now do try this and let me know your thoughts in the comments below. And here's a sample exercise, guys, that you can do tonight. Take out a piece of paper and write down your enough number, the monthly income that would let you live a life you'll be truly happy with. Now be specific, list out the essential expenses, the experiences you value, and some savings as well. Don't think about what others have or what society expects. This isn't about limiting yourself. It's about finding your personal sweet spot of happiness. When I did this, it was surprising how much lower my enough number was compared to what I was chasing earlier. Now do try this and let me know your thoughts in the comments below. I'd be curious to hear that. Now moving on to lesson 4, save for freedom and not just emergencies. In India, we save because we fear emergencies like hospital bills, weddings, and education. But this book taught me a new perspective. Savings also mean freedom. I used to think I'd retire early through big stock market gains, but that's far from reality. Now I save so that I can live life on my own terms. Whether it's starting a business, taking a break, or supporting family, I'm saving for long-term freedom and not just for short-term goals. And here's something practical you can do today. Create 2 separate savings accounts, one for emergencies and one for freedom. In your freedom account, calculate and set aside 10 to 20% of your income specifically for future opportunities and not emergencies. Label it with a goal that excites you, like probably your business fund or your career break fund. And every time you add money to it, you're not just saving, you're buying your future freedom. I started this practice last year and it completely changed how I feel about saving money. Now it's no longer about fear, it's about possibilities. Now moving on to the last lesson, no one is as unique as they think. Now this one was a reality check for me. We all feel at some point in time that my situation is different, I know better than others. And I used to think I was special when it came to managing money. And I spent a huge amount of money, for example, on my iPhone, thinking I'll manage because I deserve it. But soon after, unexpected expenses came up and I realized I wasn't as unique as I thought. Life throws the same curveballs at all of us. Now I keep things much simpler. I focus on spending within my means and building savings first. It's not something that can change your life overnight, but it definitely works in the long run. Now remember this thing, guys. Simplicity beats overconfidence every time. Think thrice before you buy something. Is that something that you really cannot live without? Or is it just going to be another impulse buy? And here's the practical challenge for you. For the next 30 days, before buying anything non-essential, ask yourself, would I recommend this purchase to my best friend in my exact financial situation? This simple question removes the I'm different excuse and forces you to look at your decisions more objectively. Now, I started doing this and you'd be surprised how many purchases I've avoided simply because I wouldn't advise anyone else to make them. Now, try this method and share your experience in the comments below. And if you found this video helpful, do me a small favor, guys. Hit that like button and share this with your friends or family who need to hear these lessons. And let me know in the comments which of these lessons resonated the most with you. And lastly, don't forget to subscribe and I'll see you in the next one.